Hello guys, I'm Ausra and welcome to my YouTube channel, and today it's my pleasure to analyze for you another piece by Johann Sebastian Bach. Well, it's not originally Johann Sebastian Bach's piece, but it's his transcription for organ. And today on the menu is Concerto in G major, BWV 592. So, as you already guessed, it's the transcription of Concerto of Johann Ernst, who was Prince from Sachsen in Weimar. And actually, he was not the duke for whom Bach served, but actually his nephew. And unfortunately, this guy died very young. He was barely 18 years old, which is very sad because this concerto and other compositions led by him shows his great talent. And out of 5 concertos, that Bach chose to transcribe, he did like 3 concertos by Antonio Vivaldi, and he also transcribed Johann Ernst. So I think, Bach, being a genius, recognized the genius of other composers as well. Of course, this concerto wasn't transcribed exactly as it was written. Bach did some adjustments, changed, modified some things, but still, the character, it's very nice. I love this concerto because it exhibits joyful character and exuberance, all these nice virtuoso passagios and really optimistic in character. So it's a real pleasure to play this nice piece, and I think it's a pleasure to listen to it too. But I think that it's very important for us as musicians to understand what we are playing and how the piece is put together. So today I will analyze it for you. So basically this concerto is similar to other Italian concertos, maybe less complex than, for example, compositions by Antonio Vivaldi. But also it has that concerto grosso structure, where you have like solo part and you have entire orchestra playing. Because originally this concerto was composed for solo violin, then for string orchestra, and of course basso continuo. So, and for the first movement I also chose to play it on the 2 manuals, one for Oberwerk will be louder for the orchestra part, and for solo part, Roux positive will be a little bit softer. I chose to play it on the Martinikerk sample set because I found it very well suited for this particular piece. And now let's talk a little bit about the structure of the first movement. So I counted like 10 sections in this first movement. It's like A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, and A, and A. So A episode is basically that ritornello. It's really nice to play, really fun to play because it features the double pedal. There are a couple episodes of a piece, a part that does not have double pedal, and I named it like A1, but these are only 2 very short episodes. And then, of course, the section B, the solo section, has no pedals and features like triple figures, rhythmic figures all the time. Well, now let me play just that opening ritornello episode A. So this is truly exciting, opening. Imagine it if you could play it in like a large church with good acoustics. It would sound really exciting. And then after this comes a B episode, solo for violin. And I will play it on the root positive. Really exciting, part for the soloist to play. And of course, after solo appearance, we will have again the opening ritornello episode A, and this time it will sound in a D major key, so a fifth above from what we have started. So again we have double pedals, and again we play on the Oberwerk, and it's very exciting and fast moving and really in a very high spirits. And after that, the B episode for the soloist will come again, and this time after this episode being in D major, the solo will be in the G major. So if you would compare A and B section, actually B section is seems as it is always shorter, but that's not true. It's equal, almost equal in the length, but it goes faster because it doesn't have pedals. So now the A1 section is coming, that I mentioned a little bit before, and it's clearly derived from the material of A section, but doesn't feature the double pedals, and you will see that it's very similar, but at the same time also a little bit different. Okay, now let's listen to A1 section, which is also in G major, in the home key. Well, and as it is with many pieces of this kind, the trickiest part for organist is to connect all these episodes together nicely, because the cadences are quite tricky here, because pedals jumps a lot, pedal part. So you have really to be careful, and it would be easier for me to play it without stopping and talking, of course. I could, just concentrate more, but it is as it is. Well, I will finally perform this concerto live for the Bach's birthday recital, so in a couple of weeks. And I will post this video on my YouTube channel so you can listen to the entire piece without any interruptions and without my speech. So now the B episode comes again, and it will be in the G key again. And now again there comes the A episode in G major key, which is obvious. It will have a double pedal section again, and then at the end of it, actually we will rest a little bit from the G major key, because in the next episode, the B section, the E minor, which is the parallel key, of G major, will appear. And it will be the first section actually in a minor key. But for now, let me just do that ritornello again in G major. Okay, so now that B section arrives again, and as I mentioned before, it will be for the first time in a minor key, E minor, the parallel key to G major. So this the solo episode, sort of warmed up that E minor key. So now the A episode, the ritornello, will sound also in E minor key. Well, and actually, as you heard in this A episode, the ritornello, that in E minor key actually lasted only for like 3 bars. three measures, and later on, he moved right out back to the C major for a little bit, but then back to the home key of G major, and it end up with a cadence in G major key. So now, well, it's this episode was special also because it was a little bit longer, and because it sort of warms up this upcoming grand finale, because now we will hear like 4 measures of A1 episode repeated in G major key, and then final short recapitulation, which will lead to the final cadence and exuberant scale in G major. Okay, let me just play this ending for you. So now we arrive to the second movement, and tempo of this movement is grave, and I see that grave probably not so much means a really slow tempo, but it's grave, it's heavy in its character, because tempos can tell us two things, of course, the tempo and character too. So I think the grave here applies to the character too. So basically this slow middle movement will have only 3 sections, A, B, and A. And again, it's like orchestra playing on one manual, and then you will hear the oboe solo for the solo part, and that solo part will be the section B, and then again we will go to the A section of all orchestra playing. And what about the keys of this movement? Obviously, the middle movement was often written in a different key, and if the opening movement was in the major key, then the second movement often was chosen to be in a minor key, and this is no exception in this concerto. So now we will have this middle movement in E minor key, and of course the A and episode at the beginning and at the end in the E minor key, but in the middle section of the B section, where the soloist will play on the oboe, we will have some sequences, of course, but still the predominant key will be E minor. And I think I will play entire movement for you without stopping. That way you can have a better grasp of it, because it's actually, as a middle movement, it's really short. It only has 1 page. So, well, I will do entire movement for you. Okay, so now we arrived to last movement, which has the presto tempo mark. It has 6 episodes, A, B, A, B, B, and A. It's really short, it has only 3 pages. And the tonal structure, at least the opening of the piece, is just as it was in the first movement. We will have the A episode in G major key, and then the B episode for soloist in G major key, and then A episode will appear again. It will be in a D major key, exactly as it was in the first movement. So, the second episode of, opening will be in the dominant key. Well, and of course, we will hear some sequences, like you will hear the A minor key, which will appear in the third section. And then we will go to the section B, which will be in the D major key. Then it will move to the sequentially to the G major key, then to A major key, and to the B minor key, then to the G major key, and finally to C major key. And the penultimate episode B will be in the C major key, which finally will lead us to the final A episode, which will be in the home key of G major. And now let me play it for you. So, really exciting ending, with G major scale over 3 octaves, it's really exciting. And such a short ending, really such short as, human youth, it really, I pity, Prince Johann Ernst, that he died so young. Just imagine if he would live longer, how much more exciting music we would have today. but still we need to be thankful that at least we have this concerto, which is so nice and so popular. Actually, while playing this third movement, I thought that probably it's better to do it on one keyboard, because now I use the two keyboards, but I really didn't like it so much, because if you use two keyboards, some of the B section still has a little bit of pedaling. And since I didn't change the pedal registration for the B section, it overpowers a little bit the manual part. So I think I like the way I do it at St. John's is just playing it all on the Hauptwerk. Because as you heard and as I said, this movement is really short one. So, but you know, music sounds so joyful, so easy, but it's not easy to play. Well, it has like really tricky cadences in the first and in the third movement, and even the middle movement has its tricky spots. So you really need to be careful with it if you practice it, not to speed up too much, you know, because then you will have to relearn it. And now I see what I still have to do with this piece before, you know, my recital. So I'm going to actually record it for fingering, and if you will want to get fingering of this piece, just, you know, click at the description of this video, and you will have directions how to do it. So thank you for being with me, listening to my playing and to my short lecture about how this piece is put together. I hope you had a wonderful time, and thank you very much for watching. See you next time.